Here is the answer up front. In 1967, the state of Wisconsin finally made it legal to sell yellow margarine. For decades, America's dairy states treated a yellow spread like a con worth banning. Margarine was one target, absinthe was another, outlawed across the United States in 1912. And a Scottish dish called haggis has been blocked at the US border since 1971. 3 ordinary foods, 3 real laws. Let's start with the one that turned regular people into butter smugglers. Margarine was invented in France in 1869 by a chemist named Hippolyte who won a prize from Emperor Napoleon III for a cheap butter substitute. Fresh out of the vat, it was pale and grayish, so makers dyed it butter yellow to sell it. Dairy farmers panicked. Starting in the 1880s, states passed laws banning yellow margarine. New Hampshire and Vermont went further and ordered it be dyed pink, until the Supreme Court struck that down in 1898. Congress piled on a federal tax on colored margarine in 1886, then jacked it up to 10 cents a pound in 1902. Those taxes finally fell in 1950. But Wisconsin held out. People made oleo runs across the line into Illinois to buy yellow tubs until the last ban ended in 1967. Absinthe is a green, licorice-flavored spirit made with wormwood, and by the late 1800s it ruled the cafes of Paris and the studios of painters like Van Gogh. It was also brutally strong, often near 70% alcohol. People blamed a chemical in wormwood called thujone for driving drinkers mad. The fear boiled over in 1905 when a French farmhand working in Switzerland named Jean Lanfray shot his pregnant wife and his 2 young daughters after a full day of drinking. He had downed 2 glasses of absinthe that morning, and absinthe took all the blame. Switzerland voted to ban it in 1908. The United States banned it in 1912, and France banned it in 1915. Here is the twist. Modern chemists tested old recipes and found the thujone was far too weak to cause madness. The real culprit was the alcohol. Absinthe became legal again in the United States in 2007, and France dropped its ban in 2011. Haggis is Scotland's national dish, a savory pudding of sheep heart, liver, and lungs, mixed with oatmeal and spice and cooked inside a sheep's stomach. The poet Robert Burns loved it enough to write Address to a Haggis in 1786, and Scots still recite it every January 25th. But in 1971, the U.S. Department of Agriculture banned any food made with animal lungs. Since real haggis needs sheep lung, that quietly made the traditional recipe illegal to import. Scotland has begged the U.S. to lift the ban for years, in 2010 and again later, with no luck. Americans who want a taste settle for a lung-free version made in the States. The genuine article still cannot cross the border, so the pattern is clear. These were not exotic poisons. They were a cheap spread, a cafe drink, and a holiday pudding, outlawed by some mix of lobbying, fear, and one bad guess about chemistry. Next time a food feels forbidden, ask who actually benefited from the rule. New food history every week. Stick around.